Dean, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me.
We had a little audio issue. I think we had it figured out now.
I think I'm okay. Hopefully I'm not making much noise now.
It's always interesting when the camera crew says, don't move a lot.
Yeah.
It's like
the days. Remember when you used to have to hold the aerial to get a certain channel?
Yeah, right.
Stand still like that.
Well, I've kind of gone back to those days because in the U.S. we, well, I don't know how it is over here, but we have, cable you can sign up for with 100 channels. You don't watch any of them.
Yeah.
We cut the cord like 7 years ago, so we've actually gone back to the digital antenna on our TV.
Really?
So we have one of those now, and it's like you have to get it just right to get the local channels.
Yeah, so we cut the cord a few years ago and we go everything through Apple TV now, but then we've sort of reduced everything, to get rid of packages, and then all of a sudden, we've probably got about the same amount of packages that we used to have for sports, but it's just disparate over about
it's all
4
the
or
apps
5
now,
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah,
exactly.
I know. So it's full circle.
Yeah.
Right? So I got to say, yesterday I did 2 recordings yesterday. I had 1 tea, we did 1 wine in the afternoon, and now coffee.
Yes.
So I'm trying to get a baseline at how many tea versus coffee drinkers. Right now it's 1-to-1.
Yeah.
So
I'm a coffee drinker until about 11 o'clock.
And then you switch to tea.
And then either switch to tea or water, because I used to be able to drink coffee until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and now I just get the jitters after about 11 o'clock.
I've switched to decaf mostly, because well, I mean, I had 3 kids. I should say my wife had 3 kids in 5 years, and so we were on decaf a lot during that time, and so now we pretty much just drink decaf.
Yeah.
Which I actually enjoy because I could drink a lot of it, and I'm not bouncing off the walls.
Yeah. So I have a good couple of cups of coffee in the morning, and that's me done.
So what kind of tea do you switch to in the afternoon?
Decaf tea.
Decaf tea.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that like a breakfast tea or a...
Yeah, it's like an English breakfast tea.
Okay. I'm going through tea university.
Right.
While I'm over here.
Right. So let's talk about. So I do like a bit of chamomile as well. Yeah. But it's one of those things. It's a bit more effort to make a chamomile. So I don't. And then green tea I drink a bit as well. But
because I do like herbal teas, which I had Richard O'Connor on from B2B Marketing yesterday, and he told me herbal tea's not real tea. So I'm learning what's acceptable over here and what's not.
It's not real tea. It's different, but it's not real tea.
So I'll get there.
Exactly. But it's like anywhere now. You go and you'll see there'll be hundreds of different teas that you can go and buy in a shop, and coffees. Yeah. Right? And beer's going that same way as well.
I know.
You go into a pub and then you see like this massive chalkboard with about 70 beers on it. You're just like, I just want a lager. Yeah. That's all I want. That's all I want. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, I live in Colorado, which is, I think, between us and Oregon, you have more microbrews per capita than anywhere else, and it's the same thing. I mean, you go into a place and it's like 20 different beers, and it's like I don't like. I mean, IPAs are really big in Colorado. I'm not a big IPA guy. Like, I'll just drink a Coors Light. I'm a simple man. Okay. So I want to dive into your role at Pure Storage. What you're doing there. It sounds like you're doing some really great stuff. You have a new CMO. But real quick, I just got to ask, your daughter works at a Lego store.
She does, yeah. Yeah.
I grew up a huge Lego fan. I think they have a great brand. Yeah. It's obviously lasted generations. Yeah. What's it like, did she say, working at a Lego store?
Oh, she loves it. She loves it. So she's probably been there about 18 months now, they treat her really well. She gets a fantastic discount on Lego. Yeah. And it's just... Put it this way, when you get a part-time job, like she's still in studying or what have you, so she does like an evening and a weekend. And I think it's you always want to love what you do, no matter. And I think a lot of sort of part-time jobs, and I'm sure you do it just for the money, for PIN money to go out at the weekend. Well, I certainly did. I worked in a frozen food factory at the weekend just to have enough money to go out at the weekend. Yeah. But it was a job. Whereas I think my daughter definitely enjoys working at Lego because it's interesting, and you get people that come in that are passionate about it. It's not just a purchase, it's something that, they have regular, what are they called? Make and takes at weekends where they will come in and there'll just be workshops where you can make Lego and take it home with you.
Really?
Sort of and it's, so it brings in a lot of people, but people tend to be really enthusiastic, and then that obviously moves on with their staff as well, and she really enjoys it.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about just being passionate about the job. Yeah, we did a sales kickoff recently, and we really worked on selling passionately, because I think there's something to be said about being authentic when you're passionate. Yeah. Right, and that translates into the sales side and driving revenue. But So when I was in high school, I worked at REI, which is a big sports store. I don't know if it's over here. Stands for Recreational Equipment Incorporated. It started as like a co-op, right? So you had to have a membership early on, and but anybody can shop there now. But people that worked there were very passionate about the outdoors. Hikers and bikers and climbers, and so you'd go in there, and I worked in the bike department because I was a big mountain biker as a kid, but I mean, you would talk to people that lived the gear. And they knew the gear, and they really wanted to set you up for success. And I think that's really translated, into their success. So, anyways, I thought that was fascinating.
No, it's good. Yeah, I think you've got to be passionate about what you do, because whatever you're doing with it, you spend a lot of time doing it.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of hours a day, a lot of hours a week. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, then
So let's talk about what you're doing.
Well, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So obviously work at Pure Storage. I look after. I sit within our integrated marketing team, and I'm responsible for creating the marketing campaigns that our partners and then content that our partners will utilize to drive demand for Pure Storage.
And how long have you been there?
Just over 6 years.
Wow.
So
okay.
So started off in channel marketing, in looking after the UK. Previous to joining Pure, I've worked in distribution and in the IT distribution and IT reseller world, and I always wanted to go to a vendor, but I wanted to go to a vendor where I could make a difference. And I wasn't job satisfaction, enjoying what you do, right? And it's always wanted to go to a vendor that was going in the right direction, and one where you thought you could make a difference. And so I joined Pure, started off in the channel marketing team in the UK, moved into like an EMEA partner marketing role, and now I sit within our global integrated marketing team, looking after all the marketing assets and collateral that our partners can use to drive demand. So,
wow. Yeah, there's a lot to dig in there, but have you always been in a channel marketing role, or what's your path been like?
Oh, crikey. So I started in sales.
All right, here we go.
Started in sales. I was selling DVDs and CDs.
Wow.
And greetings cards.
Do we need to explain what those are to our younger listeners?
So into the grocery channel. So that was a long time ago. And then then I moved into a sort of sales and marketing role, and realised I enjoyed marketing more than I did sales, and then moved to a marketing agency. Was there for sort of like 4 or 5 years, and that sort of opened me up to sort of B2B marketing, B2C marketing, and and dealing with different brands from the motor industry, from the tech industry, from recruitment, lots of different aspects. And then I got myself into the IT channel, working in distribution, and here I am now. So it's been that sort of, so my last sort of 10 years have been IT channel, crikey, no, probably about 12 years, IT channel, distribution, etc., and then to where I am today.
Is there something on the partner channel side that's pulling you or keeping you in or motivating you to stay within that?
I don't know. It's quite funny. I was speaking to somebody this morning, and I think once you've got that bug for partners and channel, it never quite leaves you. I think there's something really. I enjoy working in the channel. We're Pure Storage. We're a 100% channel organisation, right? So channel is the lifeblood of our organisation, and that's another reason why it appealed to me. But I think once you've had that bug of partner marketing and channel marketing, there's always there's things I do today where it's more looking at global campaigns, but I've always got that one foot within partner marketing, and there's hence why I'm here today. Hence why our engagement has started, because there's it doesn't quite leave you. Yeah.
So 100% channel organization.
Yeah.
What are some of the how does that differentiate Pure in the market being 100% channel?
It just enables us to grow, and it enables us to scale, and it enables us to be able to build our brand awareness, and be able to build our reach and understand where our products fit within the market, and let our partners, we're a storage organization, right? We're a data platform organization, but we're only one part of the puzzle, right? It's our partners that build the solutions. It's our partners that take that product to market. It's our partners that build off the back of our data platform. So it's really understanding, where we fit within that ecosystem and it's a brilliant litmus test to find out how our solutions and how our platform is landing in the market and how we compete and where our niches are, and that feedback is vital.
Does that provide you with some unique challenges? Because certainly your partners, they're probably not just selling just Pure, right?
Yeah.
Potentially selling your competitors too.
Yeah, exactly. But I think if you look at any of our top partners that we work with, any partners, we're not gonna, we'd love to be the only data storage platform they position, but that's not always the case. And it's around the education, it's around the enablement, and it's about building relationships, right? And it's about being as easy to work with as possible. Right?
Yeah.
It's about, our products are the simplest on the market, right? Where simplicity is at the core of what we do. We need to be as simple to engage with as well, right? And removing those barriers to entry and making sure from a marketing perspective, whereas our message is clear, our message is simple, our message is easy to execute on, and most importantly, it can weave into those existing go-to-markets that our partners have. Yeah,
it's interesting. It's almost like you do have two core customers, right? Because you have the end user, but you also have your channel partners, and it probably forces you to stay really close to your customers to understand, what are their needs, on the channel side, and how do you best support them to make sure that they're pushing Pure out in the market.
Yeah, exactly. And our interaction with our customers will be on that one-to-one level. Do you want to buy some storage from us?
Yeah.
Right. Let's move off to our data platform. Whereas will be one part of a solution that our partners will be speaking to them about. Our partners will engage with those customers a lot more often than we will, right? Because they'll be talking about umpteen different potential projects, right? So it's about leaning on that relationship and being a massive part of that relationship to then obviously up level our conversation with them also.
Have you seen the channel market or channel resellers? Have you seen any shifts or changes the last couple of years or decade? How is that evolving?
I don't know. So I think if I look at, obviously I'm not going to labour on the point, but going into sort of COVID and pandemic, it was an absolute paradigm shift on how we worked with our partners from a marketing perspective, how we engaged with them, and ultimately how we could drive pipeline and opportunities with them when the world sort of closed down. Because people buy off people, and if you can't see people, it makes it difficult, right? So we had to pivot, and we did some fantastic things with our partners to be able to keep that momentum going. I think coming out the other side, and we're a lot more interactive with our customers, day to day and partners. I think it's definitely had a knock-on impact of how customers and partners want to interact, and also you really need to give people a reason to do something, right? It's not going to go back to 3-4 events a week and multiple webinars. It's, you really have to give somebody a reason to attend or somebody a reason to listen. And it's about concentrating those efforts into fewer activations, fewer more meaningful activations that give somebody a reason to engage with. And that's what we're finding.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, it's almost like a quality over quantity type thing, right? I think, being on the publisher side, when COVID first hit, there was definitely a quantity aspect of it hey, we had so many events cancel. We need to now set up so many webinars. Let's just run. And now that's pulled back a little bit.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's got to, because people are time poor. You can't just, the best will in the world. If I look at how I engage on a weekly basis, I now have, there's 1 or 2 publishers like yourselves where I will make the effort to attend your webinars or that are relevant to me. And there's 1 or 2, and you're really finite with your time and concentrate on the ones that are actually going to add value.
Yeah.
Right. It's because somebody will fill up my calendar very quickly, right? So it's been making sure that I can align that time and making sure that I'm working and listening to the vendors and the publishers, etc., that are going to add value to what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what we're trying to do with the show, right? Is I think the real authentic conversations we're having hopefully transcend that value we're looking to deliver in the market. Because there's from what we're doing, there's a lot of great webinars, a lot of great B2B marketing webinars and podcasts out there. I think the challenge I've had personally listening to a lot of them is I'm really inclined to want to listen to the topic, and I get into it and I get a little bored. I'll be honest. And what I ended up doing is I end up looking at email or checking something else out. And even though the topic is something I really care about, if I'm not entertained, it's harder for me to derive value from it. And so, that's why on the show, like I want to talk personal. I want to talk real stories. I want to take on tangents because
I want to talk about Lego.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But I think we have to entertain the audience first, right? And that drives engagement. And from engagement, we can deliver value. Because I think my guests come on and we talk about tea and we talk about coffee and we talk about travel and fun stories. But like, I think you need that to a certain extent to entertain, because we have to keep people hooked and engaged. And then we can deliver real value by getting into the nitty-gritty stuff in terms of how is channel evolving? How do you deliver value to your partners? What are the challenges out there and so forth? Yeah. So that's my goal, at least. Yeah. We'll see. You tell me.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's going well so far, apart from I'm nearly out of coffee, but it's fine. It's fine.
Well, that's surprising. So most of my guests, it's me the one drinking because they're doing all the talking. So now I got to catch up to you.
Well, exactly. I'm obviously far too excited. So that's it. Yeah.
All right. So I want to take a little divergent here. So I usually do a little lightning round. I forgot both of them yesterday. I had 2 interviews yesterday. I forgot both of them. So I was like, I'm not going to do it today.
Right. Okay.
Right. So here we go. I think I should start calling it the slow thunder round because I end up asking questions and it's not a true lightning round.
Okay.
But they are just quick answers off the top of your head. I think I have, let's see here. I have 4 for them for you.
Okay.
Favorite dessert?
Creme brulee.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that was the only thing. So we had creme brulee for our wedding, and I think that was the only involvement I had in our wedding outside of turning up at what time. Yeah, I said if we're having dessert, I want a creme brulee, and yes, creme brulee.
My wife would approve.
Yeah.
All right, describe your style in one word.
Enthusiastic.
All right. If you were to write a book, what would it be about?
Believing in yourself.
Name something on your bucket list.
Going to Japan.
Ooh, me too.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to steal one from yesterday because I didn't do any yesterday. Let's see here. Do this on the fly here. Okay. Let's see here.
It's going to be a tough one, isn't it?
Your favorite British saying or slang?
Keep on trucking.
Keep on trucking.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, that's it. Okay, you passed.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, so back to Peer. What can you tell me about Peer's go-to-market strategy this year? Whatever you're willing to share.
Yeah, so I think, we want to be able to focus on, again, it's focusing on being, very clear message to our partners, right? Very clear message out to to our audience, and we want to align around 2 or 3 core values, and that's what we want to be known for, right? It's very much Pure Storage. You're the guys and the girls that do that, right? Being very clear with who we are, being very clear with what with where we're going.
Now, how do you? So you're delivering that message, through your channel partners in terms of moving product. How are you measuring success working with 100%, channel organization?
Do you know what? It completely varies, right? I think if you look at partner marketing as a whole, there's organizations out there that look at partner marketing as a channel. But it's not, to me, it's not a channel, it's a route to market. And that's a clear difference. And I think you can't just look at partner marketing as a MDF in, leads out, right? It's part of, it's part of an overall strategy, and you need to be looking at various. So from a measuring perspective, yes, of course, we look at pipeline generated, but we also need to be looking at how are we extending our global brand and reach through our partners? How are we engaged with them? How are we working together from a thought leadership perspective? How are we working together on all these different engagements, right? Partner marketing is around a partnership, right? It's about a true partnership of two organizations sharing their values and best practices to drive pipeline, right? And there are so many different elements of that, of how we can help across content creation, thought leadership, social media strategy, and it's getting, for those key partners, being able to engage on all of those different levels to be able to drive that. So in answer to your question, there's lots of different ways that we will measure it.
Yeah.
But it's very much down to sitting down with that partner and defining success. What is the success framework for our engagement over the next 12, 18 months? It's not just we gave you this, we expect this back. It's how are we jointly going to drive success over the next 12 to 18 months, and how is marketing going to help drive that goal?
It's almost like a series of OKRs that you have across different aspects of that joint go-to-market strategy.
Yeah, exactly. It's a true partnership, right?
Yeah, it's interesting because I interviewed Richard O'Connor yesterday, CEO of B2B Marketing, and he was talking about how we have sales enablement, sales and marketing alignment essentially, and he's like, that's the wrong way to be looking at it. Is we should have buyer alignment, and he's done several transformations where he does these OKRs, right, and he gets all the teams together and just really correlated around these key objectives, right? And it sounds like the partner marketing side, like pipeline is just one component.
Yeah.
Right. Across many different objectives that we need to drive success. And it's interesting because, I've always heard, pipeline.
Yeah.
And it's one small piece of it.
Exactly. And it's about building that trust, building that relationship, understanding how you can mutually benefit, how you can be mutually beneficial to each other to ultimately drive pipeline. But what are the other stepping stones to be able to go and achieve that? Because let's in its basic form, right? If you look at telemarketing, say, as a tactic, as part of an overarching campaign, right? Money with an agency, you get leads, you stop investing, the leads stop.
Yeah.
Right? You need that constant drumbeat of activity, of campaigns and programs to keep that. And yes, you can have like peaks and troughs with telemarketing or lead generation or events or what have you, but you need to have that consistent joint brand message going out there, that constant drumbeat of activity that the whole organization can align behind.
Now, would you suggest that an organization has one framework that kind of outlines these key success metrics or objectives across all their partners, or you have an individual framework for each individual partner? Like, how do you scale it?
Well, it's a very good question. So we're looking at that at the moment, in all honesty, and I think you've got to pick your bets, right? You can't, and it's really around aligning, your strategy, your growth strategy with the partner's strategy, and then defining that from there, right? So, yes. We have different levels of relationships with our partners based on a number of factors, right? But it's making sure that you've agreed on the offset of what success looks like, and that can differ from two partners in the same town. So it's really down to that relationship with the channel teams, the partner teams, the marketing teams to be able to go and deliver and define what success looks like in the offset.
Now, some of these things I imagine are hard to measure, right? Like an engaged or happy partner. But I've also heard at the same time, partner relationships and driving strong relationships this year is a big priority. So how do you measure some of these trickier aspects of things that might be really important?
Again, it's down to what you can measure, like how many partners turned up to my enablement webinar from that. And there's lots of different, and so you can get some hard and fast metrics, but it's down to relationships. And going back to I said right at the beginning, right? Being as easy and as simple to work with as possible, right? That's how you can define that. That's how you can define that relationship and build that out. Because if you have that as your grounding, you will build that relationship to define success from that. If you're as simple to work with as possible, as easy to work with as possible, and build the relationship from there, and quickly define what those success metrics are for that period of time, and then go and deliver on that, and then build.
Interesting. So we did our partner marketing study in 2022. We're rolling it out again this year. And 2 years ago, when we asked a question around, do you have a documented strategy or not? This year, we're going a little bit deeper in terms of like, well, document it. Is it a formal strategy? Is it an informal strategy? What do you suggest as people look at these frameworks? Is this a documented formal strategy that they write out and share within the organization? Like, what does that piece of it look like?
To me, it should be completely aligned to a business plan that you have with your partner.
Yeah.
Right. That's I imagine that you would sit down, with as we do, we sit down with our partners and say, right, okay, this is where we are now. This is where we would jointly like to go over the next 12, 18 months. And these are the solutions, that we're going to help to drive there, and how is marketing going to support those goals. Right. Then you work back from there.
I could tell you we're in sales, because you're basically selling a vision on the partnership.
Yeah.
Right. And you're setting expectations, and you're coming back and delivering on those expectations.
Yeah, and you get regular check-ins and OKRs and however you want to measure that. But it's then defined on that success of, okay, we're here now, we want to get to there. How is marketing going to support to help us get there?
And is that a business plan that marketers should be sharing internally with their own organization to show success?
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt. If I've got an AE, like an account executive that wants to go and sit down with a partner because they might have access to a few accounts or what have you, that AE should be completely versed in what that partner marketing strategy is and that business plan strategy with that partner. Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about what's working and not working in terms of campaigns. And, you don't have to be specific to, hey, we saw this ROI, we're doing this many leads, but just like in general, webinars, white papers, lead gen, events, what are you seeing kind of work and not work out in the industry right now?
So it's funny because you say what works lead-wise, right? Lead-wise, top of these, it was always going to be something like a content syndication and events.
Yeah.
Right. From a volume, but you can always, but it's about being really, really crisp and really concise with the type of personas that you're going after, and the type of organisations you're going after, and being able to find like that. If I look at how we're driving pipeline, all of the above, right? It's again, we've got partners from a completely different demographics and sects and geos, and it does, there are some similarities across the board, content syndication, webinars, events, etc. But then there's some anomalies in there as well. So it's very much, so in answer to your question, those would be the top 2 or 3. But it varies very differently between region and organisation as well.
Yeah, interesting. And what role is events playing face-to-face events? Is that back in full swing? Is it kind of?
I think again, it's being selective.
Yeah.
And really understanding what you're trying to achieve with an event and what the purpose of that is. Is it to speak to as many people as possible? Is it to try and have a finite executive roundtable where you've got a target list of 20 customers and the hope is to get possibly 6 or 8 of them to come and listen to you, right? So again, people will go to an event if they find value in it and they find it relevant to them, but it's being really crisp and clear and concise of what you're trying to get out of that event and achieve from that event. Do you need to have a stand at the event where you're going to give away a lot of socks and jelly beans and what have you and scan as many people as you want? Or are you better off investing in that event and making sure that you have 2 speaking sessions or exec roundtable session or whatever it might be, and really understanding what's the purpose of what you're trying to do?
Yeah, makes sense. What about intent data? I mean, that's like the hot topic right now in the industry and buyers, and making sure intent is included on lead gen programs. Is intent data important to you? And if so, why?
Very much so. right? We're, so we obviously we utilize intent data, but it's about enabling, just getting a pulse really and understanding where people are in the buyer's journey and all of that good stuff. So yeah, it's heavily utilized.
Yeah. In terms of, sorry, I'm just looking at my notes here. So this year, looking ahead, what are you most excited for at Pure Storage?
There's lots to be excited about. There's things I can't really talk about right now, but there's things that are coming that excite me.
I told you I'd ask you a hard question.
I know, and I've run out of coffee, and okay, so I'll stumble through this, and but yeah, there's lots of things.
So exciting announcements coming.
Yeah, there's lots to be excited about.
Yeah.
As I say, I've been here 6 years. It's the longest I've ever been with an organisation. One, because it showed me growth and opportunity, and two, because I completely believe in where we're going as an organisation, and I want to be a part of it. And this year is going to be another step with where we want to go. We believe, right, that the all-flash data centre is the future, and we believe that spinning disk will be dead in the data center within the next 2-3 years, right? And we're on a mission to make that happen as fast as possible. So that's what's exciting me, and there's going to be, that's what I'm excited about.
You have a new CMO.
We do, yes.
Yeah, and only a couple months, right?
Yes. So she's
Lynn
actually,
Lucas, right?
yes. So she's actually in the UK this week. I'm
very
meeting.
cool.
Yeah, I'm meeting with her tomorrow.
Should have brought her by. She could have watched.
I know. Yeah.
Very cool. So it's a couple months. What's it like working for a new CMO? Have you seen changes yet? Is she still kind of feeling her way?
Yes. Yeah. There's been a few changes as you would expect. But really exciting. Lots to do. There's lots to do. But yeah, very exciting. And as I say, we're moving in a slightly different direction, and I'm all for it.
Very cool. Very cool. One last thing I wanted to ask you was kind of around community, because that was one of the topics yesterday.
Yeah.
Just the importance of community on the B2B marketing side and partner marketing. And I know you and I, right before we hit record, we were talking about the partner marketing dinner you attended, and just the openness that even competitors will have on the partner marketing side. What does community mean to you? What is it to connect with your fellow partner marketers? How's that helped you? I'd love to just get your thoughts on that.
It means a lot. And I think, as I said, I've always sort of had one foot in partner marketing, and I've been in and around partner marketing for 12, 13 years. And it's, you do go around and you do see the same sort of faces, and you do build up rapport. For example, I spoke to somebody this morning from another vendor that I haven't spoken to for 6-8 years. Well, probably 6 years. But she sent me an email out of the blue, and I thought, I'm going to call her straight away, right? And it was just, and it was like going back 6-8 years, and you build that rapport with people because you work with them. And so, for instance, building that community, it's about building those relationships. It's about learning best practices from people, right? And it's understanding what's work and understanding the same sort of challenges, right? It's very, like you're nodding your head now, right? Yeah. It's very much, you can sit around a dinner and somebody can say, I have this problem. And then it's always so reassuring to look around the table and everybody goes, yep, and it's understanding that, and utilizing that and understanding it's not just you on your own. We've all got the same sort of challenges and issues and opportunities as well. And being able to bounce off ideas in an environment where you feel safe and secure always helps. Plus, nice food always helps as well. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's good. So community. Back to right to your point. Community is really important, both internally and externally, right? Well, and going back to my previous point about Lego right at the beginning, you've got to be able to enjoy what you do, right? And part of that is feeling part of a community, because we do it for a lot of hours a week, every single week, week in, week out, year in, year out. You've got to have that community that you feel a part of, that you can lean on and you enjoy. Yeah,
I think you're right. The passion for what you do, but you also said feeling safe, and I think that's key, because there's a little vulnerability with coming up with challenges that you're having and sharing those, right? Because that means you're not perfect. Like, no, none of us are perfect. No. But you got to feel safe in order to come forward to say that and get some help. And then you start to realize a lot of people are facing the exact same challenges.
Yeah, exactly. No, and I found that really useful, and I hope there's another one coming up soon. So
no, we love the partner marketing dinners. They're great. This show is kind of modeled on that, and to the extent of, it's more one-on-one, but let's talk about some of these common challenges that we're having, and also where we're seeing success, and how do we share that with other people. So I appreciate you coming on to share it.
Thank you very much.
You're not done yet.
Oh.
I have one last question for you, and that's, what advice do you want to leave for people on the road?
Don't be afraid to try something new, and have confidence in your ability. And people put you in a role for a reason, because they can see something. So don't hold back and push boundaries.
I love it. Well, cheers to don't be afraid to try something new.
Yeah.
Good to have you on, Dean.
Thank you very much. Likewise.